Hi, my name is Kristen. I am a dating and relationship coach, and I help women to be their most authentic self to attract and create great love. And today I want to share with you 5 ways that you can increase how you embody your standards to attract better matches. So if you follow my channel, last video I talked about the difference between what are having expectations and what are having standards. And just a quick recap, the difference is that when we have standards, we actually start with the values and desires that we have, and we require that they're met, whether that's us meeting our own standards or requiring or setting boundaries so that others can meet us in our standards. Whereas expectation is putting a heavy weight on someone to behave or act or do a certain thing to make us feel okay. And of course, I encourage us to have standards in our relationships because that's important. And the thing is that so often we might have an idea of our standard, might intellectually know what we want and what we think that we deserve from people, and yet we don't fully embody that standard. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I know in my own experience with dating, this was something where I thought I had a certain idea of a standard in my head, but when the rubber met the road in a relationship, especially in the area of physical intimacy, it felt difficult to speak with my standard, but also embody the standard in the way I presented myself, in the boundaries I kept, and in just the confidence that I had around knowing that I was worthy of that standard being met. And that's a big part of what it is to embody your standards. So I wanted to share that when we embody our standards, it's actually very closely tied to our identity. So for example, if we see ourselves as an athletic person, we are going to embody what it takes to become that person who is healthy, who is strong, who eats well, who sleeps enough, because we're doing the actions that align with that identity that we have about ourselves. And in dating, if we believe that we're a high value woman that's attractive, that deserves good treatment, we will date and show up in a way that exudes that confidence. And if we don't experience getting good treatment from a man, we will start to get turned off. Maybe we'll end the communication. We just won't tolerate it. So some of you may have not experienced before the quality of treatment that you want and have in your head. And for that reason, it can be challenging to embody your standards, because sometimes we think we don't want a man who's gonna verbally abuse us, right? Most people would agree with that. And yet, if you've grown up in a family that had critical words towards one another, that you did have some verbal abuse, it may be really challenging to believe there is someone out there who's going to treat you with kindness and to really embody that standard. Because if we haven't experienced something before, literally in our physical and psychological makeup, it's hard and challenging to believe it's possible. So if you're in that place, you're not alone, and there are ways that you can start to shift that in yourself. You can start to really embody the standard that you have in your mind intellectually. So I'm going to share the 5 steps you can take and things you can think about if this is something that you would like to work on. So number 1 is practice in low risk relationships setting a standard. So when I say low risk, I mean those that you already have a good relationship with, whether it's people in your family, whether it's a friendship. Maybe, let's say for instance, you have the value, I don't want to be in relationships where they do all the talking, that monologuer. And you actually have a friend who talks a lot and you would love to be heard more often in the relationship. Practice sharing that with her, or turning off if she's talking too much, maybe interrupting her, embodying that this doesn't work for you. So you're practicing on a low risk relationship because there's trust there, so that when you get in a dating situation, when the stakes feel a little bit higher, when we start to naturally take things more sensitively, you can build those muscles to be able to embody your standards. The second step or suggestion I have is find a mentor or person that you really admire for how they embody their standards. So whether it's a mentor, a person in your family, whether it's even online on YouTube or podcasts, find someone who's relating in a way that you really admire and start to learn from them. Whether you ask questions, you observe them, and see what it is that they do. Because so often it's contagious. When someone steps up for themselves, we get a little bit emboldened ourselves to be able to own our own standards. The next one is get accountability. So there is a statistic out there that if we make an appointment with someone telling them what we're going to do by a certain time, that we're 95% more likely to do it. So sometimes we don't embody our standards because there's a level of fear in there. What if I stand up for myself and I lose the person? And so it takes sometimes that accountability of saying, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm gonna do, to be able to start to embody that, because we know that we have someone who's got our back, who cares for us, and also is curious about how we're going to succeed in doing it. The next one is correlate your identity with your standards. And so what is the identity that you want to have? If you say, I am a high value woman, I'm going to show up on dates where I don't accept treatment from men doesn't feel good to me. And so you have an I am statement. I am a high value woman. That's your identity. That's how you feel about yourself. And if you don't fully feel you own that identity yet, practice. Find an I am statement that really resonates, that you know is true or that you're growing into, and say it on the regular so that you can start to embody the standards that go with that identity. Number 5 is develop your emotional muscles to be able to tolerate when someone has a hard emotion in response to your standard. So what I mean by that is sometimes we can not say something or not set a boundary because we feel bad that they're going to feel bad. Maybe they'll be disappointed or sad, or they'll act in an angry way. And yet part of embodying the standard is knowing that however they feel is okay. They can feel whatever they want to feel, and I'll be okay too. I can be okay with their discomfort, knowing that I've honored myself. And that, my friends, is a sign of a healthy person who puts honoring their feelings above worrying about what the other person's gonna feel, knowing that it's not only in your best interest, but ultimately it's probably in their best interest too. All right, so if you find yourself struggling with embodying your standards, I have a resource that's here to help you. I'm gonna be starting a group women's course this February 8th, which is called Attract Your Best Match in 2021. It's going to be a way where we meet weekly and we gather to learn content around topics like knowing what the difference between masculine and feminine energy, setting your boundaries, setting a vision for your love life, things that are going to support you in becoming a woman who attracts your best match. So it's going to be a great way to embody the things that you value in a new way, as well as make friends along the journey with other single women in a similar place. If you're interested in that, I'm going to drop the link below for more information, and I would really love to have you. Also, I always do clarity calls with anyone who's interested in getting support around a certain issue right now, whether you're dating or in a relationship. I'll drop the link below for that too. If you like this channel, subscribe below to get more content where I'll be adding videos each week. If you like this video, click like and share it with someone you know. I am looking to build this community, and I'm glad to have you as a part of it. All right, my friends, until next time, I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you embody your standards more and more, and I can't wait to see you on the next video. Take care.